Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to review Superman the movie in 4K. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and put out videos daily. So yes, Superman in 4K, the original Richard Donner movie. Of all the releases that came out this week, this one was my most anticipated and probably one of my most anticipated of the year. I've such a long history of this movie. Like everything I love about comic books and comic book movies, it started here. An argument can be made that the current genre of comic book movies really originated here. I know you could probably go back further, things like Flash Gordon and things like that, but the modern comic book movie, I think, really originated with Superman. Such perfect casting all around. We have Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor. Of course, Christopher Reeve as Superman. Marlon Brando as Jor-El. Margot Kidder as Lois Lane. And it's a movie that I feel still holds up very well. And I've seen this thing so many times over the years, and I've seen the extended cuts, but I mean, truth be told, like you really can't beat the original, like the theatrical version. I feel that it's definitely like a gold standard as far as comic book movies go, and arguably one of the greatest of all time, and I really feel that way. So of course, this being an anniversary, the 40th, I half expected a 4K was coming, and thankfully, Warner Brothers didn't let us down. They just released it, so I'm not gonna dive into the movie itself. I mean, it's a movie that's been around for a long time. I'm sure you've seen it. So I guess the big question is, how does it look in 4K? I have mixed feelings about it. I feel that even though it does support a Dolby Vision, layer, it's not spectacularly prominent, and I guess it has to do with the age of the film. And I feel like I'm not sure if this was actually a restoration. I don't believe so, but I feel a restoration actually could benefit this a little bit more. There were moments of good HDR highlights, things like Superman's, suit, and like I noticed especially things like the kryptonite and the effects of the nighttime and the special effects do pop a little bit more. And I noticed when they were flying around the city, the Statue of Liberty actually had that really nice green glow to it that I don't remember being so prominent in previous releases. And Lois Lane's car, during the earthquake sequence, I mean, the reds are on display here, and I think that is probably the strongest use. We get a lot of detail too, things like Superman's suit, and I noticed especially during the earthquake scenes, the dirt and the damage being caused. There's a little more detail. That being said, there is still some problems, I feel. It does have, like, especially at the beginning. Now, while we do the credits actually look great. They actually do look very nice. But the scene shot in Krypton, I feel are probably the weakest aspect of this transfer. It's very, very grainy. I mean, there is appropriate film grain throughout the movie, of course, but I feel it's especially prominent in the opening scenes on Krypton, and it's a little distracting. I was actually getting a little worried that this was going to be throughout. Thankfully, it does ease off after we get to Earth. It's a serviceable upgrade. I will say that it is. It's not something that I feel would move 4K players. It's not something you would go out and say, hey, you need to get Superman because it looks so amazing in 4K. I think we're limited to what our age and the current state of whatever transfer we have is, the film print that they used. It's good, but I wouldn't say it's spectacular. It's an okay upgrade. Overall, I'm pleased with it. There's definitely more pop in the color, going back to Superman's suit, which is probably the most the best example I can give in this. So yeah, it's good, but don't expect to be completely blown away by it. We do have things, there's still a little bit of that haze to the film. That's, I believe, just something that is just part of the actual negative at this point. I don't think that something necessarily needs to be fixed, but it's there. Like, so if you're wondering if they clean that up, they didn't. But overall, I think, if you're a fan, you're going to get this. Now, the audio, we're not given the original audio track, which is a shame. For purists, I believe that is something that should be at least included. We're giving a 5.1 lossy Dolby Digital, but we're also giving an Atmos track, which I opted to go with the Atmos. So that way we have the lossless audio. It sounded very prominent. It was a very strong soundtrack. Probably my favorite part of the movie. The things like the earthquake scene and when Krypton is getting ready to explode, it fills a room very well. It's a great soundtrack overall. Of course, the score is front and center. It sounds amazing. You could listen to the opening credits over and over, and it's just going to fill your living room. It sounds great. I don't have any complaints in that department except for the lack of original audio. I think that was a missed opportunity. But, we have plenty of anniversaries coming up. I'm sure one day we might get it. But for purists, that's a little bit of a disappointment. So overall, I feel that Superman the movie is a modestly good upgrade. It's definitely something you should get if you are a fan. You definitely will see differences, but you are not going to be amazed by them. There are plenty of other movies of this age, or a little bit earlier or older, that just I think are a better transfer. Things like Bridge on the River Kwai, I felt was overall better looking result compared to Superman. But it's if you're a fan, you're gonna get this. It's Superman the movie, for crying out loud. It's gold standard. For comic book movies, we wouldn't have them if it wasn't for movies like this. It really, it just paved the way for the future, and it's still doing it. So yeah, that's pretty much going to do it. Leave your comments below. What did you think? Did you did you get your copy? What did you think? Leave your comment below. I appreciate to hear what your thoughts were. So yeah, please, share this video, like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.